After weeks of debadging the outside and slowly disassembling some of the interior, our biggest setbacks yet were right around the corner. I had been working around this captain's chair for way too long, but it couldn't be removed until the box heating and air conditioning components were removed so that I can gain access to the nuts under the box. The disassembly of this ambulance body really needed to take place in a certain order, but that blueprint doesn't exist to my knowledge, so we figured it all out the hard way. We were planning to keep the majority of the interior shelves intact because one of the biggest advantages of using an ambulance as a camper is that it's practically already set up for you to hit the road. But it didn't take long into the demolition phase to realize that the hasty removal of all the systems and cutting of all the wires that occurred prior to us owning it was going to force our hand and require a total gut job of the interior. Which leads us to learning the hard way that despite how it looks, this shelf is all one piece that doesn't come out in sections no matter how hard you try, since it's welded from behind. So we must wrestle this beast in order to move forward.
That's what I meant by guiding it down. We're going to get a plan so we don't drop again. We're going to have to come out here. I'm good. This is getting heavy. Hang on. Oh. Okay, yeah, it should be going down. I'm on the bumper. I go forward a couple inches.
With the shelving now behind us, we have exposed what lies behind it. Miles of wiring that leads to who knows where. Most of the systems were to the ambulance itself, while some of them are critical to the operation of the truck. There's no easy way to sort through this tangled mess other than to dive right in. So after removing all the protective wire loom, we one by one began to untangle the wires and save them to be reused at a later time. As tedious as it looks, it doesn't show the mental exhaustion it places on you when trying to decide what stays, what goes, and my favorite, what's what. So we ultimately decided that most will just have to go, and if we find out we actually needed it, we will reconnect it.
What you didn't see while we were removing the shelf was me injuring my foot. That's why I'm trying to keep it elevated here.
Eventually, we would almost fill this blue recycling bin with wires, just like we did the white bucket in the corner. And believe it or not, this was likely among the simplest and most streamlined wiring jobs that we've seen in an ambulance. The removal of the shelving and wiring alone were enough to double our estimated project duration. Another time killer was a very long list of seemingly easy tasks that proved to be the most difficult of tasks. This list includes the removal of the captain's chair you saw earlier, along with the removal of the stretcher hardware on the floor. Many of the bolts were seized in place. Lucky for me, I don't have many tools for working with metal, so I began to use stepped drill bits to grind the bolt heads and brackets down to a point where they could be removed.
I just made that so much harder than it needed to be. I don't have any good bolts to show you, but apparently all this floor hardware came with two different size bolts. One of them, I guess the island key needed was smaller whenever there was a bolt on the bottom of it. But there were several of them that you can't access from under the box. And I realized we're doing, I guess, one piece over here that the bolt head was thicker than the ones with the nut on the bottom of it, so I cranked it out. It came out easily with the island key. Well, these two middle ones had that bigger head, but I didn't notice it. I thought that it was the same as all the other ones, so that's why I just automatically jumped to grinding it. But had I noticed that, I could have spun it out in 10 seconds, but I didn't, so I've been spending, 30 plus minutes trying to grind this one out. And getting nowhere because it's one, thicker, and two, I've broken both of my step drill bits. So now I'm going to have to risk starting a fire with the angle grinder just to, I guess, disintegrate the rest of that. It's mostly done, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, but just heating all that stuff up, heating up the rubber under that plate, it just really gets things cooking. But, oh well. The price you pay for not paying attention.
What I'm trying to say is that the forward and rearmost stretcher brackets on the floor have bolts with nuts you can access under the box. They were difficult enough to try and remove, and some of them required grinding to remove. I did these first since I could at least access their nuts under the box. Well, the two in the middle were facing a different way and had a different size bolt, and they are located where I definitely can't access the nut under the box, so I immediately just started grinding the bolt to a point where I destroyed them. That was the goal, but somewhere along the line I discovered that these bolts didn't actually have nuts on the bottom and could have been easily extracted without any grinding. I later learned that many others who converted an ambulance faced similar situations, so to those of you that haven't made it this far, hopefully you all can learn something from my mistake. If you can't access the nut, there may not even be a nut there, so try and unscrew it before you screw it all up like I did.
I'm going to call that one for now. It's pretty much flush with the surface of the floor. I'll revisit it once we got this rubber flooring up and I can maybe get it more flush. Maybe I can get it out, I don't know, but it might just have to be our little secret if I can't get that out of here. It ain't hurting anything, but at least it's out of the way. Seven down, 2 to go. Looks like I can impact the nuts off the bottom of these guys, so I'm going to try that. And then this floor hardware may be a done deal. Definitely, I think the most frustrating thing I've come across so far. I can't even see this damn thing. This light's so bright. Oh. Okay, I think I got a grip. Gotcha.
To recap, the removal of the shelving was not originally part of the plan, which led to the stripping out of all the wiring, which was a huge undertaking. Pair that with the simple demolition tasks that cause annoying delays. With all of this now behind us, we're coming to terms with the fact that it's been 3 weeks into our 2-month rental, and we haven't built or added a single thing to our conversion yet. This is when we knew we were really in for some long nights ahead.